Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a face routine. I told you all in my last makeup video that I wanted to show you how I do my base. So today I showed you a foundation and concealer routine along with how I do my brows and my bronzer, blush, and highlight. And of course my products change a lot because I have a lot of makeup and I love a lot of different things. So this isn't what I use every single day. It's not the only things that I love. But these are things that I highly recommend and I do love a lot. So without further ado, let's see how I created this face look. Okay, I just went ahead and pinned my hair back and I'm going to use a moisturizer before anything. This one I'm going to use today is the Ole Henrikson C-rush Brightening Gel Cream Moisturizer. Sometimes I use the Neutrogena one. It just depends. I alternate between moisturizers and just try out new ones all the time. Okay, for primer today, I'm gonna go in with this Benefit Porefessional. This is the hydrating one. I really like the way that this one makes my skin feel. I have very dry skin and it's like the Porefessional in consistency, but it feels a little bit more hydrating on the skin, which I really, really like. It actually gives like almost like a tacky base on your skin, which is nice for makeup. I mostly focus this in the center of my face because it is for pores. I like a lot of different foundations, but the one that I always go back to is this Tarte Face Tape foundation. Mine is in the shade Medium Neutral. This is a good self-tan shade for me. This is really full coverage. You don't need a lot of product, and I just always go back to it because it never really does me wrong. It's super, super nice on my skin. I have a tip for you guys. So if you don't want to put your foundation on the back of your hand, because I always used to do that and it just makes a mess and stuff, you can use a Bath & Body Works or any kind of candle lid, and that can be like your little palette, and I have been using this for years. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my Damp Beauty blender and I'm going to stamp this on to my skin. I'm going to start in the center of the face where I need the most coverage, and then I will shear it out on the outer edges of my face a little bit, but I always start putting the most product on this inner section of my face. I do blend my foundation all the way under my eyes. I know a lot of people don't do that, but I do. I think it helps with my dark circles. And as you can see, like, this goes far. You all saw what I put in the middle of my face and I'm still blending it out. That's what I love about this foundation. I have never used a foundation where I only use like a 1.5 pumps, but this one, I don't need like any product. I do a pretty thin layer on my forehead because I get a lot of creasing on my forehead, so I'm gonna show you what I do, but if you put a lot, it's gonna crease even more and you're not gonna be able to add more product to blend it out so that it will be smooth right before you add your powder. So just trust me. You don't want to put a lot on your forehead. Now that we're all blended out, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape under my eyes. I have the color Fair Light Neutral. I like to go about 2 shades lighter under my eyes, but what I find is that powder usually darkens it, so sometimes I go even lighter than that. And I'm going to do a triangle. And I'm going to let this sit here for about 30 seconds to a minute long so that it dries down a little bit. That adds some extra coverage. If you ever are wanting more coverage from your concealer, I recommend to let it set down before you blend it out. So I'm going to start blending it out. I'm kind of going in an upward motion because I want to lift the eyes, and with that brighter concealer right there, it's going to do that lifting for you. Once we're blended out, I'm gonna immediately go into my powder before I even blend this one out so I can set those creases. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Skin Perfector in Fair. I love this powder. It is like the best powder that you will ever find for your under eyes. It doesn't even look like you have powder on whenever you add it. I go in with like a really small brush and set the creases right under my eyes first, and then I'll go in with a bigger brush, and that is what I will like stamp on the rest of the eye. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's like no creasing under my eyes whatsoever. It looks super, super smooth. All right, we're already looking so much better. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back to my forehead. I'm gonna take my beauty blender and put a tiny bit more product on it, just a tiny bit. And I'm going to pounce out these creases that formed in my forehead before I set. I'm gonna go ahead and set that before it creases. I am going in with the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Powder, and I'm just gonna tap off some into the lid. Sorry, this is like, whoa, a little bit in the lid, and I'm gonna go in with that same like packing brush that I was using under my eyes. Take a little bit, tap it off, and stamp on the creases. I feel that this is the best way to set the creases so that they stay nice and smooth all day, because you're kind of pushing the product into the creasing. And this powder doesn't make it look dry, doesn't make it look cakey, and really keeps it from creasing. So I really love this powder for my forehead. And then I don't set the rest of my face because I have really dry skin, so this is good enough for me. I'm gonna go ahead and show you all how I do my eyebrows as well. I use this Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I love this stuff, it's so good. If you are looking for something that's comparable from the drugstore, I would say the Brow Stylist Definer by L'Oreal is pretty close. This is a little bit more fine. This is a little bit easier to use. This one is a little bit more waxy, but they're really close. They both have a spoolie as well on the product, so I really do like this one a lot, but this one is my favorite. So I'm gonna go ahead and brush out the brows with the spoolie that it has. I'm gonna brush them up, brush all the product out if we've gotten any foundation in there. I start under the front of the brow with making a very, very faint line and filling the front in a little bit. But I leave right here blank because we're gonna go in with a different product. And then here's where I go in and change the shape of my eyebrows a little bit. I want my arch to go up higher because I kind of have like a eyebrow that's pretty straight across, so I want a more arched brow. So right here where it would arch up, I am going to draw this a little bit higher. So I'm going to do small strokes like this up and then connect it to the tail. And then just keep filling that in. You don't want to do too hard of pressure though, because that's when you're going to get it looking fake and looking drawn on. So I'm just kind of lightly filling it in until it is filled in nice enough for me. So like that. As you can see, I really arched this one up. It lifts my eye. It makes me look like I have more lid space. So that's a technique I really like to do. For the inner part of my brow, I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I like this product a lot as well, but the pencil part on the one side runs out so fast. So I would recommend buying this once and then keep buying like a pencil, and then use the ink stain on the side for what I'm about to do. Don't keep repurchasing these for the pencil because you will be repurchasing them all the time. So this side is a pen tip. It almost looks like a liquid eyeliner, and it is liquid like that. So I like to fill in these very, very front strokes with this. I think it makes it look super natural and hair-like. So I'm gonna go in there like this. And here's where I'm gonna start the hairs. So I'm going to draw upwards hairs. Flick. Little flicks. Then I'm gonna go in with 2 brow gels. This is not necessary, you don't have to have 2. But I just do it because I do have both of these on hand. So I love the Anastasia brow gels. I have the tinted brow gel in the color Espresso, and I have the clear brow gel, which I think the clear brow gel holds your brows down a little bit better, but this will add some color. I'm going to use the brown on the outer part of the brow to just give a little bit more color and darkness. This is just gonna go on the outer part of the brow. And then the clear will go on the whole brow to set it. So I kind of brush these hairs up right here to make it look fluffy and natural, and then the rest I just go over it. For bronzer today, we're going to use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Radiant Bronze Light. This is a beautiful bronzer. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and I'm going to really bronze my face with this. This doesn't have to be so precise. This is more about getting the color on your face where the sun would naturally hit. So I definitely like to do a lot on my cheek here, and then I'll take it up on the temples, connecting it to the cheek right here, and then on the forehead. I love this bronzer color. It's very pretty. Gives you such a sun-kissed look, and it has a little bit of a glow to it as well. And then I'll do some under my chin as well. And then lately I've kind of been dusting it over my nose to connect like right here on the cheekbone, over the nose to the cheekbone. It just gives like a natural sun-kissed look on your nose. For contour, I'm going to go in with the Bahama Mama. This is a product by the Balm. I love this product for contouring. And I go in with a more dense and small brush. And I'm just going to now define my cheekbones. Right above the ear, I'm going to blend a little bit of this darker color to give a more chiseled cheekbone look. And then sometimes I'll go ahead and add some on the bottom of my nose. I don't really need to contour my nose. I already have a pretty small nose, so I just do that to add in some color. And if necessary, I'll go back into the Hourglass bronzer and blend those two together a little bit. If you want to chisel out your contour a little bit so it pops, I would use a loose powder. This one is the Peach Perfect powder, but you could use the Milk one or whatever you want, any powder you want. And you can take your beauty blender that's damp and you can put it in the powder. I would put the tip of it in the powder, and you can just draw a line with your powder right under your contour to sharpen it. And I don't leave it for long because I have really dry skin, so I can't keep powder on my face for minutes and minutes. And I'll go ahead and take like a big powder brush and go ahead and just quickly buff that away. But if you don't have dry skin, you could probably leave it for a minute or so, but I feel leaving it for a few seconds does the trick. For blush, I'm constantly switching what colors I use. I really do like this Bare Minerals one in the color Blurred Buff. I talked about this in my April favorites video, and I will just kind of use a stippling brush because it is a putty product, and just stipple it on top of the bronzer. Makes it look so that the bronzer like seamlessly fades into the blush. And then the last step of the face would be the highlighter. I have been using this Too Faced highlight palette so much, and I really like the glow shade on the end here. And I'll just take like my Anastasia A23 brush and just give myself the most beautiful glow. I love this product. I wish they would make this product though in one individual pan, because that's my favorite product from this little trio. However, I do like all of them, but if you need to go back in your blush brush, you can just like blend those together. And then because I'm extra, I will add another highlight on top to just give it that extra pop. Not always, but most of the time. So today I'm going to go in with the Amrezy from Anastasia. This is such a pretty highlight. Everybody loved this, and I don't know that it's available anymore, but this looks very nice. It's like a soft gold color, and I'm going to go in with a more tapered brush. This I'm just going to hit right here on the high points of the cheeks, and then on the center of the nose and like between my brows. And then what you want to do at the very end of your face routine is use a setting spray. I use the Urban Decay Chill setting spray, but I have a lot of other ones too. This one works for me because I have dry skin, and it really melts all of the powder products together and makes it look so airbrushed. If you want to step up your face game, definitely use a setting spray. So I'll just apply. This is what the foundation, eyebrows, and face looks like. Alright guys, this is the finished look with all of the makeup on. I love how my eyes came out today too. I used the Huda Beauty Retrograde palette. I've been using this so much. I got this in my Sephora order, and I really like how the blue turned out, but I can also do this makeup look if you guys would be interested in another video. But for today, this is all I have for you, so make sure you guys subscribe for more content. I am planning on doing an upload schedule pretty soon, so I'll let you know as soon as I figure out what days I'm going to upload. And thank you all so much for watching. Thanks so much for your support. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.